rations?
Yeah, Maltha will pick up 10 rations if there's underdeck rations
Well,
available.
this is for the shopping list of for the quartermaster to acquire. You can buy rations of your own if you like, but you can also make requests because you have a sponsor. They're covering your supplies once they're approved by the quartermaster. So this is what that list is. Right?
10 pounds of candy.
10 pounds of candy.
The finest candy that money can buy, please.
That might get expensive.
Yes, I second this. Just because.
Second, the candy, or that it's expensive?
Both.
Okay.
Well, that's the point. You want it to be expensive. You get what you pay for.
Rope, rations, 10 pounds of candy. What else? And we can go through the quantities later.
Is there anything like? Is there any thing like slime be gone?
Like a Goo Gone?
Yeah, like slime eradicator. Anything over the counter on the market?
Well, I mean, you can add it regardless, but also, what kind of check do you think that would be? What kind of knowledge check? History? Just intelligence?
Wait, let me look.
Arcana would work, I think.
Yeah, I think it's Arcana. I think it would be Arcana, but I'm not proficient in that. Medicine, I guess, could be, but I'm not proficient in that.
Depending.
Survival? Maybe? No.
I mean, which skill you use could determine what you learn if there's anything to learn. So
I'm going to do Arcana because I think that makes sense, even though I'm not proficient in it.
It's basically just an intelligence check. Not that you know of slime. I mean, there's various things you can use to remove grease, like oil grease, but slime is such a vague term. If it's oil based, then soap works against that. If it's water based, you might be able to just rinse it off, but it depends. If it's biological, who knows?
Can I ask the wizard if he can make a potion that will make us win this challenge?
Well, you do have one more brief meeting with the wizard because when he has something to present to you, he'll send a bird to knock on your door or whatever, and then you'll go down to the pub underneath the house, and there's docks there, and there will be a little boat that the bird will fly to, and then the boat will very, very slowly, kind of agonizingly slowly, just drift over to the tower and dock there, and then you can, the apprentice will come out and welcome you in, and have you mentioned to him or asked him anything about Gorston? Because you've, although actually, I guess he doesn't know that you know he's from Gorston because you read Gildebrand's mail, and that's how you found out.
Oh, but he knew that we had the letters, didn't he? I guess he doesn't know that we read them.
Gildebrand knew that you had the letters. You also didn't steal that letter. That was just one you read in the in Gildebrand's bedroom, actually, in his just box of letters. His box of non-private letters, non-secret letters. But I'll move you to the tower. I forgot I had it autoplay. That's fun. Got it. His Gillibrand finished with 2 of the items early. I mean, basically, we took a very long time between sessions, and I finished them. So in game, Gillibrand finished them early.
Which ones?
Uh, gonna reveal them as soon as I find them.
Hey.
Center
Cinder
chest.
chest.
And
Aye.
yeah, he shows one square, quite heavy, like reasonably heavy for its size, black iron chest. I guess considering that it looks like cast iron, it's not that heavy for its size, but it's still pretty heavy. And he'll clunk that over on the table. And says, the other one is in the other room, but I'm not going to carry it here because it's extremely heavy. You will certainly need help. My apprentice will help bring it over. Wherever you'd like to put it, you may want to decide before moving it because it's very, very difficult to move. It's the size of a standard chest. It's almost like the size of a coffin. It's not quite. It's not 6 feet long. But it's also made of heavy black iron. And I'll demonstrate. You open the chest. Inside, you can see the locking mechanism splayed out on the top of the underside of the lid. The bottom of the lid, but in the middle, in and amongst all the gears and things, there's a dial. It's not a very pretty, like elaborate dial because it's just very functional. It's slipped in there amongst all the gears, but you might not have been able to find it easily without him showing you. It has 3 positions, and he turns it to the second position and closes the chest, and it makes this there's this weird kind of like closing a fridge kind of shifting of air, and locks it, and then waits a second, opens it, and pulls out a jar and a bottle. The chest was empty before. He puts the jar and the bottle on the table. And these, of course, are the aye. That's what I've called it tentatively. It's
I immediately knock them off the table, they break.
no. If you did, it wouldn't necessarily destroy the items, but it would be difficult to get the.
I step on the eye and I go like, whoop!
Okay, let me delete that handout.
I can still hear you. I'm just turning off my camera for a second because I'm gonna grab something.
Okay. There's in the bottle is the seeing eye, and in the jar is the speaking eye. And you leave the seeing eye in a location, and you bring the speaking eye with you. And it doesn't speak exactly, but it allows you to see through the seeing eye by proximity. The sender chest, of course, does kind of a similar thing, but you can send the items back and forth between the chests. The portable one is 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot, or at least the interior is 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot. The outside is a little bit. I've given the interior dimensions, so in reality they're a little bit bigger. And yeah, he'll show you the big chest, and it's quite big. There's a lot of storage in there. It's not quite a bag of holding, but it's definitely more stuff than you could normally carry around with you, unless you had like a cart or something. The small chest is, I think, the same capacity as a backpack.
Okay.
Wait, so remind me how the chest works again. It has to be like closed, so the item has to entirely fit in the chest. You can't like pull a sword out of it.
Yeah, well, you could pull a 1 foot long sword out of it.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, to be able to move from the small chest to the large chest, it has to fit entirely within the small chest and close. And that's partly, it helps with the functionality, but it's also a bit of a safety function.
Mhm.
You can put big things in the big chest. It's just that if you set it to sending it to the small chest and close it, it won't go because it doesn't fit in the small chest.
Can we go the other way, in the sense that many small things in the small chest will eventually fill up the larger?
Yep, they
Okay.
go one by one. That's why Kildebrand waited a second after he closed it. They go one by one in a random order
Okay.
in either direction, whichever direction you say. Or
What if we put a living thing in there, like a bug?
Nothing is going to kill it immediately, but there's also no air in there. And the conditions can be. They're not hospitable. It's quite cold and there's no air.
I try it.
Something can survive in there, but only so long.
What is this?
I'm trying it. I want to catch something and push it through.
You want to go catch something? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find a little like pill bug sized trilobite.
Yep. Okay, here we go. Try it.
Don't bring creatures into my house.
I take the small box with me and then smuggle it in.
You put the bug in there, and then you set it to position. You're trying to send it to the other chest?
I'm trying to send it to the big chest, yeah.
All right, so that would be third position. And then you can close it, open it again, and there's no bug.
Okay.
What happened if the little chest is put in the big?
Don't put the little chest in the big chest. I can't guarantee what will happen, but it's very likely not going to be good. There's a couple possibilities of what could happen, and there's really no way of saying which one it'll be. It might be nothing, but it might be. It might instantly destroy the chest and all of its everything that it contains. It may create an unpredictable rift of some sort. It's quite dangerous to experiment, what will happen in those circumstances. So I would advise that you don't do it.
He's too calm. He need to be like, don't even ask such preposterous questions.
I can only yell so loud in this voice. Oolong, I wanted to mention to you that I actually did a little bit of my own digging for local sources of iridium, and I found 2 such possible sources within Favennozionir. One within the hoard of Favennozionir, the treasury, if you will, and one, I believe, is in the possession of a private collector up in Hightown, Delvington, by the name of Quesper, a collector of minerals and petrifacts. I understand that you're leaving town shortly. I'll continue to look into things, but I can only do so much on the matter. It'll be up to you to source the ingredients. But
So are those sources enough, or like is one of them enough?
I
you
believe
don't
either
know?
one would be enough.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how you would acquire what is currently in the collection, private collection. That's up to you. I know that it's not terribly common for specific items from the Horde to be given out, but it's far from unheard of. It's usually either a reward or a grant of sorts. If it's for a project that requires it, you can seek approval. That also means some outside involvement. So that's up to you.
Was the bug like? Did anything seem wrong with it when we put it through there?
Did you go check on the bug? I assumed it was still in there, dying.
Oh gosh, I run over. I run back to the thing and I said, I didn't bring bugs into your house. The chest did, and I open it up.
What? The bug. If you, how quickly do you think you got there?
I didn't. I just stepped outside, so I'd imagine couple floors, couple minutes.
It flies out of the chest, just out into the house.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you wanted while you're here?
Oops, I moved the boat.
Anything you wanted to know? Anything I can provide? Then I have matters to attend to, please.
Okay.
You can leave the large chest here for now if you like, or you can have it taken to the house now. It's entirely up to you.
Yeah, how hard is it to move the chest? Can we just take it in?
Two people can sort of. I think technically, by D&D rules, somebody with a decent strength. I think anybody could carry it without being like super over encumbered. But that it's also big. I think two people would be needed to comfortably carry it.
Okay.
But also there's stairs and there's water. There's lots of stairs and there's water. So that makes it especially challenging to move. His suggestion is to just bring Hoagie along with a floating disc. And just have it follow behind you.
Nice.
If it can't fit up a staircase, if the disc can't fit anywhere, then you might have to get Hildebrand himself to like levitate it or something.
Who asked for that's the thing. Like you.
Whoa, Manny, your mic.
Oh.
Is anybody else hearing that?
Yeah, you sounded like a robot.
It was cool.
All right, I'll be back.
An evil robot.
Yeah. Yeah, also, as a reminder, Oolong counts as a large creature for moving heavy things like that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I don't think
so-
we'd
so
have
you
that much
can-
difficulty just moving it.
Yeah, I think that'll actually do.
Do I still sound like a robot?
Nope.
Nope.
Do I still sound like a robot?
Okay.
Yep.
well,
Whose idea was it to have the chest with sending? Who asked for that?
I did. Naidati did.
Nice. I like it. There's a Stephen King story called The Jaunt about we invent travel like that, like instantaneous travel. But if you put something through it while it's conscious, it fucking it lobotomizes it basically. So we have to make people use it to travel, but they have to be unconscious. And at one point, somebody kills somebody by opening the open portal, but not setting a destination for where they're going. Push them in, and who knows what happens.
It sounds like The Fly. We actually we accidentally went through the transporter with a fly. Oh God.
Yeah. it turns out the reason that you can't put something through while it's conscious is because to us it's instantaneous, but to their experience within the thing, it's like millennia. So a kid like goes through and isn't unconscious, and he comes out and he's like, "I was forever." Anyway, so does any of that happen with this thing?
If you'd like to try, you're welcome to.
I mean, we just sent this fly through.
And it seems okay.
Do we have speaking?
it does
Do we
seem
have
okay.
speaking with animals that we can ask the fly? 'Cause that would be
Oh.
kind
Two of you can kind of like communicate with animals on a basic level, and it seems just distressed by being caught and put in a box
I
and
have
then being
6
somewhere
in
else,
animal.
but that's it. Ooh,
Plus than 6.
it seems like
And please take that with you.
It's a gift.
No, thank you.
It's the least we can do.
No, thank you.
Oh, I said it flew away, but I described it as a trilobite, so it doesn't fly away.
Whoa, it gave it wings! Holy shit!
of.
All right. So your shopping list. Oh yeah. Well, you asked Gildebrand if you could have a potion that would let you win, and he thought about it for a second and said,
I do not think it is within your means.
But he could make one.
I'm not sure I can answer that question in a satisfying way.
Okay.
Is anybody else peeling potatoes? Because I am.
No.
I peeled up papaya. Shopping list: rope, rations, candy.
Finest that money can buy, 10 pounds.
Okay.
Well, let's be safe.
Oh, okay. If this isn't something that you've thought about since the last time we talked about it, then we don't need to deal with it right now. But I do still kind of want to make poisons.
Right.
So if I can get a poison kit or whatever, does that count as a toolkit?
You can get toolkits. Absolutely. I'm trying to think if they would give you a poison kit.
Yeah, when I was looking it up, I saw that there like something like that exists, but I don't know if they would give me one for this.
Oh, I was thinking of leaving the sporling to help out in
Yes.
the garden. I don't know if we already addressed that.
Jump to the garden. You two, I mean, you've both talked to me about it, but no, I guess if we brought it up. I wasn't 100% sure how the garden works, but I guess we can figure it out as we go. I know the first thing you were going to make was just like food stuff. And there's also a garden outside. There's the gardens in the menagerie, but then there's also space out here where you can grow mushrooms and stuff. So I think, given that you're a druid, I think it's reasonable that maybe you already have the food garden up and running with like some common mushrooms. Other than that, what would be your first kind of project, do you think? The things that you would like to grow in the menagerie?
Well, there's the mushroom that we took.
Yeah.
That's attached to the sporling, I think.
Yep.
So I wanted to do that.
Okay.
And
Black
then also some poisonous ones, or if that one's poisonous, I guess.
Yeah. Poisonous ones you'll have to acquire the spores, or because you have a sporling, you can do it from any other part of the fungus. Because the sporling can just, if you give the sporling a mushroom, the sporling can mature the mushroom enough to produce spores.
I love that book. You give a sporling a mushroom.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, um, what was the
Yeah, I
other
don't know.
one?
I don't know how much Ulan knows about like poisonous mushrooms that grow in the Underdark.
Are you oh, and to grow in the Underdark? Yeah. I think you've done plenty of research specific to the wildlife and stuff, and you have a survival proficiency, I imagine.
Yeah,
So
I
you
think so.
already knew how to identify mushrooms. I think that's
Only there was someone who used to live here, who maybe also has a survival proficiency, and maybe.
Oh,
will
you
also
do have a okay. If you have a survival proficiency, then you do know how to identify Underdark mushrooms. I think that's definitely a given. So, as a general rule, there aren't poisonous mushrooms growing out in the open in Favennozionir. There's some that are kept to like poison pests, but the mushroom that you already have is definitely a great start for a secondary. Like, if you want to have here at the, I'll move you back to the house. At the bottom of the house map, I put the menagerie with its various rooms. The room on the right actually already has mushrooms in it in the picture. So if you want to make that your indoor mushroom room
Yeah, that makes sense.
for either poisonous mushrooms or for rare mushrooms that you don't want eaten by rats or whatever.
Oh, right. Yeah, it probably doesn't make sense to put the food with the poison mushrooms. So I guess that room can be the non-food one.
All right. So actually, I'll drop some. Your black bowl mushroom. Put that. Over there. And currently, it's you put it on the sporling, and the sporling can mature it. The sporling can either keep it fresh so that you can consume it, or the sporling can accelerate its aging and get it mature so that it can produce spores and you can grow more. Would you like to do that? That means that you can't use it right away, but you'll be able to.
Right. Yeah, I think we should do that.
So I'll do that. And the way that it works is it'll make a colony, and once you get the colony going, it'll produce one mushroom, and then you pick that, and then eventually it'll produce one more mushroom. Where's my hand? Did I ever reveal the black bowl handout? I did. I'll just show it again. It's just a picture. And for the food ones, I think you could that could contribute to the rations if you want. Although maybe we don't have to deal with that this time because you're not buying the rations. But I wanna make it so that if you find things while you're out and about, you can bring them back and grow them.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fun. But that's something you'll have to keep an eye out for, and I'll try to remember also. You are also, I remember you took like you are possibly thinking about doing the shell job. Procure for the most peculiar shell for my collection. So you can look out for shells. Rope rations poison kit. Anything else?
Maybe if we can get some like healing potions.
Healing potions.
Definitely.
And what was the other potion that you suggested? Water breathing?
People do water breathing a lot. Do you have the water breathing spell as a druid?
I don't.
Not that means.
I mean, I guess I probably had the option for it, but I don't think I took it.
I mean, you can prepare spells every day.
Oh, right.
So you have all druid spells potentially.
I mean, maybe like some cleaning supplies. We
I
don't,
had-
because we're gonna be cleaning up this soap.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, this slime.
You have a ladle.
yeah,
You have a
ladle.
big metal ladle, but I can add line cleaning supplies.
I had
I
thought
don't
of
remember what I listed as the popular options, but not all of those are necessarily going to be applicable to you guys. But
acid vials of acid, in case that would help to clean stuff up.
All right. And I guess now we can go through quantities. For the candy, it was 10 pounds of candy.
Yeah,
I think we need to be safe. I think we should maybe go 20. Just to be safe. You always want to make sure you have. You want to make sure you have more than you need rather than less. You know what I mean? You don't want to be caught unawares. So.
So actually, you're sitting down with the quartermaster. Let's say oh, I had a thing open for this, but I always forget to pull it up. Brock, your quartermaster Brock, is like,
What's his
okay,
last
so
name? Does he have a last name?
Samson. Sorry.
Lesnar.
Sorry,
he,
huh?
Lesnar?
Lesnar?
He
Turner?
is going over your list. Okay, so the rope, how much rope did you need? We usually do lengths of 50. It's just easier.
What if his last name was Obama? That'd be funny.
Brock Obama. How much rope?
I already have. I feel like I haven't, so it's really more for you guys.
You have two lengths. You have 100 foot. That's good.
I want 200. If we're
200
going to double
more?
up on candy, we're going to double up on rope.
Or 100 more or 200 more.
I want
You're
200.
right. We're gonna need more rope to help secure that candy.
You said 100 more.
I'd say 200 more, just because.
200 more. I mean, rope. A little rope goes a long way in everywhere. So, rations. There's 4 of you. And
For 6 days, 12 days. So 48, 50 rations.
50 rations. Healing potions, I'll see what I can do. It helps that you're sponsored, but that's always a bit of a tough sell because they're expensive per and they're consumable. So we usually prefer to provide things that'll last, but cleaning supplies and acid vials. I mean, the acid vials could be part of that, certainly. And I can put something together for you. Poison kit. What kind of poison are you looking for? Like, what is this for? Because we can't, you know, that sort of depends. If you're looking for poisoning like pests, invasive, plant life.
I think it's for larger life than.
That I don't think we can necessarily provide. But it's definitely something that you can acquire within Delvington. There's I think that you'll find in Delving Hall even there's people that can help you with that. But Officially, I can't. The guild can't pay for that. The candy. Now, what is the candy for?
To have candy.
Would you like some candy in your rations?
Sorry. I think that it would be good for more crew morale. You know, we didn't have All Hallows Eve. They don't celebrate it down here, and these are surface dwellers we're talking about here, right? They really, I know it's not a big deal down here, but up on the surface, Halloween is really big. And so they didn't get any of their candy this year, and I think they're bummed out. Usually you get about 4 or 5 pounds. But I'm cutting you a break this time. It does have to be the finest candy you can buy.
I was going to bring up the note at the end, the finest that money can buy. But yeah, make a persuasion check, because it's not a bad. I like the angle of saying that it's a traditional thing.
So I didn't do good.
Hallows Eve, you say? Yeah.
All
sugar
Hallows
is quite expensive down here.
Can
It can
I?
be made with like
I know it
stevia.
grows on trees up there, but we don't exactly have those.
What was that? Oh, perception. No, that was persuasion. Can I? Would 12 pass?
Are you? If you're going to make a check, you're going to have to give an argument.
Well, I have inspiration, and I like this as like inspirational.
Oh, you're using
And
like
so
like
if I
DM
can
inspiration.
finally just spend my inspiration
Yeah,
after
go for
5
it.
months, then I can just
a
flip
12
the script on this, and hopefully a 12 will pass.
A 12 it beats a 10, so he'll say, "I'll see what I can do."
Okay.
So you get the 200. You get the 200 rope. You'll get 4 50-foot lengths of rope. 50 rations. Easy, you get that. Cleaning supplies. So you get the acid. You get 2 acid vials. Oh yeah. So we'll actually let's just go through one by one and add them to everybody's inventory. So how do you want to split up the rope? You have 4 lengths of 50-foot rope. Rupert already has 2 lengths.
I already have one.
Maltha will take another one. So he has 2 now.
If you have a lot of overflow rope, it doesn't make sense for Rupert to get it, because he can work magic with the stuff.
I think you guys take what you want, and then I'll take whatever's left over.
So Malthar took 1.
I can take one as well.
All right, and then 2 to Rupert. So Rupert had 2, Nidoti and Malthar had 1 to your inventory. The rations, 50 rations. What are you guys doing with that?
Just each have
12.
12?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to keep rations individually? All right. So everybody take 12. Starting from 0 rations. Yeah, 12. 2 acid vials. There'll be a heavy brush and scraper. So let me see if there's a toolkit for this. Hold on. So that would make it easier if I can just give you a toolkit. Actually, maybe I can just maybe I'll just say you get a cleaning kit, like a masonry cleaning kit, like that kind of thing, because there's a lot of that around here, which would include acid.
There's no explicit like cleaning kit, but for now, I guess we'll just say cleaning kit. But you can keep the assets separately. So
Who has the cleaning kit?
I can take it.
Night has a cleaning kit. That'll be 5 pounds. 2 acid vials.
That goes with
Yeah.
the cleaning kit, right?
Oh wait, no, I can't. I'm over carrying capacity.
It can go with the cleaning kit. I can also take that. I am-
And two acid vials.
I am not quite over capacity yet.
You also have the.
Are you guys carrying stuff that you don't actually need to be carrying? Because I definitely am. And do we have like a secure place to put things?
You have a house.
Yeah, but like how secure is it?
It has a front door with a lock on it.
Okay.
I mean, it's up to you partly how secure it is if you want to take measures to secure it, but you'll have to do that during downtime.
How secure is the chest?
The chest is quite secure. It has a decent lock on it that is enhanced by the arcane lock spell, and the keys. I didn't mention this before to you guys. The keys are invisible. There's 2 keys, and they're both invisible. So be careful, wary.
I really don't want to lose that.
Right.
Yeah, because I have the scroll, or not the scroll, the runestone of earthquake, which
Right,
is
you wanted to mention to the party that you sort of got an offer on it.
yeah. But so I don't know. We can decide what to do if we want to sell it.
I'm trying to unequip.
But it is like devastatingly powerful, so we want to keep it safe if we're going to keep it.
Gildebrand urge you to be careful who you trust it with, who you let know that you have it. It's dangerous, and many people would pay a lot of money to get it. And he gave you a sort of a mysterious smile to subtly indicate, without being gauche, that he would pay quite a bit of money for it.
When I thought when I unequipped stuff, it should have taken it out of my weight, but it's not.
Yeah, I thought that it would do that as well.
There's a toggle under the settings
Oh,
to include or exclude weight if it's checked off as equipped or not.
do you know where it is in the?
It is
Ignore non-equipped item weight. I'm checking it for you.
yeah,
Thank you.
there it is. Yeah. Malthair's gonna leave one of his crowbars behind, and drop his hooded lantern and the oil for the hooded lantern, since he knows the light cantrip now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Robert, all the stuff that you're unchecking, is that staying at the house?
Yeah, I don't know. I might. Can anybody take some of this rope?
Oh yeah, I can take more rope.
What do you have?
Hempen, you said?
Well, I guess you do have 7 strength, so that's part of why you're having trouble with weight.
Mm-hmm.
This is hempen rope, by the way.
Hempen rope. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. It's silk rope.
Oh,
Yeah. It's silk rope. Sorry, because silk rope is it's not actually like. I think it's probably the same price down here as hempen rope, and
sweet. And it's
it's
halfway.
much heavier.
silk rope is heavier. No,
When
silk
I
rope-
just dragged it in from the thing.
It's because we did the rope. We did the hempen rope in a fucked up way.
It says that one silk rope is 5 pounds.
We did this in a fucked up way. You had 100 feet of hempen rope. I'm gonna delete the hempen rope. Is that okay? And we can just do it the normal way.
Sure.
Okay. So I'm gonna drag this hempen rope back onto your 2.
Oh, there's where we need it. I just discovered
Okay.
we can have a mess kit, which is our cleaning kit, right? Just mess kit, mess cleanup.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right.
Why don't you give your hempen rope to somebody else? Because that's heavier than silk rope.
Okay, yeah, I'll take the hempen rope.
So two
Okay.
hempen rope
Already
to
have one.
Ulan.
Oh, 2 hempen rope. Okay. I already had one.
Ulan
How do
can
you see what your total carry weight is?
you just have to calculate it.
Well, no, I mean, like, it says what my total weight is, but I don't know what my maximum weight is.
Yeah, you'll have to calculate. It's I think it's
Oh.
your strength score, not your modifier, times. I don't remember.
Oh.
Google it. And then I think it's double for you.
12.
Right, okay.
How heavy do we say the ladle is? You told me already, but I forget.
I don't remember. 1, 2.
1, okay.
How about 2? I think it's 2.
2?
I think I remember that it was 2.
2 makes it a weapon. Potential
So I actually
weapon.
don't have to
It's a big,
this.
heavy ladle. It's old too. It's a little rusty. It's from back when the kitchen was operated by a staff.
Malthar had 1 hempen rope in his inventory, but I think I had that since we started going down. So I'm just gonna say it's 1 out by now.
Okay.
I just had 1.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, does this seem correct that my carrying capacity is 420 pounds?
It might be. I mean, you have that thing where you can carry double, right?
Right.
Uh,
Well, because it just says that I count as large, and I think that that's what that means, that it's double, right?
I heard that
So,
you
yeah,
count
okay.
that way in real life as well. Someone was telling me that.
If you wear a large shirt, you can carry twice as much as someone who wears a medium shirt.
Uh-huh. That's what I heard. I think it was like Bill Nye or something that said. Someone who knows a lot of science.
I mean, you can carry more if you're bigger. What? Okay.
Yeah.
Candy. You get some candy. You get a box of like artisan candies from Worm's Den, with a note that says Happy Halloween.
Funny.
They didn't know how to say it because you made it.
Hollow Sween.
Halloween. So that can function as an additional ration, but you can just add candy parentheses the finest that money can buy. All right, that's settled. Anything else in town that you have to do? The mushroom is at the garden and will continue to maintain it, and it'll keep growing while you're gone, as if you were there.
I wanted to get that sword being.
Well,
I mean, I didn't. I don't know about that, but
Yeah, no,
out of game, I want
yeah.
to. Okay, if you already have a plan for it, never mind.
I do sort of, but thank you for reminding me. I'll move you to the next map.
Oh, did we talk
Are we
about
doing
echolocation stone? Sorry.
Say that
Are we
again?
doing the optional rule for encumbrance?
No, not right now.
Okay.
Uh,
Just
I
making
thought
sure.
about it a while ago. I think I decided not to, but I haven't thought about it in a long time. What were you saying, Daniel?
The idea of echolocation, clickstones. Did we
Yes.
decide on that?
Decide on it in the sense
Like,
that, like,
in the sense that we've been down here a year, we've had maybe some time to practice. Can we have those as like a thing? Or are we just
You know what?
automatically
add
assuming
some
we can
clickstones
just...
to your inventory. You're trying them out.
Okay.
You're trying to figure out how to use them. It's a real, like, it's like circular breathing. It's like when someone trying to learn how to do that is such an insane obstacle that's like your brain doesn't do that. Your brain just doesn't know how to do that. And so it's like trying to start it is the learning curve is vertical. So if you can get over that, then you can start to learn it. But it's something that you're going to have to work at for a while before you can even begin to figure out how to do it.
Okay.
'Cause
Okay, wait. Here's a question.
It's a sense that you don't have. That you
Can I
can't
also
inherently
try to
learn.
do it? Sorry. Can I also try to do it? And can't I just like turn into an animal that has echolocation so I know how to do it?
That's a really good point. What can you turn into that has echolocation? You can turn into. There's two animals down here that have echolocation. One can fly, and so you can't really turn into it for stupid D&D reasons. The other one is a very small whale, a very small eyeless whale. That you turn into. I don't know if there's a porpoise sheet in D&D already, but if there is, that's that. Probably less powerful than a dolphin, if that's a thing that. I don't know. Maybe dolphin would be fine. But you might actually be able to learn it easier, and then you might be able to help. But so paid for is your ferry from Favennozionir to Spillbend. You can schedule that at the docks in Lowtown, Gorgonzola. And a couple other people will be waiting around and hop on. It's a long canoe made of reeds and bone and skin. It's sturdy enough, but like when you step in, you have to like be careful to like step on the struts and not on the skin. And you start drifting down the river. We talked. I don't know if any of you have been to Spillbend before, because we have been here a year. Naidati definitely did. We talked about that, but that was the most restless character who really like wanted to get out and do stuff again. And so when you go down to Spillbend, Favennozionir is very, very vertical. It's a deep cut river that has just like dug the chasm deeper and deeper and deeper, and Favennozionir is built into those walls with multiple tiers where it kind of flattens out a bit with the tides, the old tides, wherever the river used to be. Not all of you think in that way, that we have, like, nowadays we know that, like, we know about geology and deep time, but I think not everybody in this world is gonna think about deep time in that way, the way that a river cuts deeper and deeper through erosion. But for the players, you can tell that that's the geology of this cave.
And realizing that, do I get any sense that this river might be close to draining out at some point into a cavern below at some point? in the next couple
Without a
of
nature
years.
check, that's something that you've experienced in the Underdark is movements, just kind
Okay.
of making a river disappear. Maybe a nature check from anybody who wants to about the just going downriver and studying the geology and thinking about that question. Like maybe that's something you're talking about.
Hardly.
I'm gonna also make a nature check.
It
Can someone roll one for me? I'm in the bathroom.
yeah, I'll do that. You know that Drippling Delve is much more stable than the Shallows were, and even more than like most of the Underdark is. It's a very stable little pocket cave, and it's very distinct from the rest. Like you enter Drippling Delve from the greater Mesogrot through a long cave where you can see the terrain changing. It's a very distinct area. And that doesn't seem to happen here. Doesn't mean it never will, but as far as you know, that's not something that's about to happen. You know there are like invasive species and stuff, though. There have been things that crossed over into Drippling Delve that have affected the ecosystem in certain ways. That seems like more of a... You can also see the ceiling of the cave is... especially in Favennozionir, but even farther downriver as you go towards Spillbend, the ceiling is like kind of blackened in places, just by people like living here, burning things, and towards the walls and in areas that haven't been developed and lived in, the ceiling has like longer stalactites and it's like wetter and it seems more like productive. There's more dripping going on towards the outside. It seems like the top of the ceiling in places where people are breathing and burning things and there's light and all this stuff. It does seem to kind of kill the cave in those spots. There's also a... No, you wouldn't be able to see this actually. I should talk about the season a little bit. It's just about high drip tide. So the yearly tide cycle is at its near its peak. I think it's actually just recently peaked. And it's starting to wane again. So the water level is very high right now. Which actually makes travel downriver easier because there's certain obstacles that are now like underwater at high. There's of course the moon tides are still going up and down, but and you'll see places in the water where there's a bundle of reeds, a bundle of sticks, and some ribbon on there that poke out of the water, and they're marking a stalagmite that is just underneath the surface so that you don't take your boat and poke a hole in it. Yeah, as you go down river, you can tell this upper Cambury area is that deep cut chasm, and it empties out. It starts getting wider and apparently deeper. You know that this area is quite deep. You start to see fewer markers of obstacles towards the middle. It's also very quickly as you leave Favennozionir, Favennozionir kind of tricks you into thinking that you're not underground, that you're not like in darkness, surrounded by darkness in infinite all directions. When you start to leave Favennozionir, you see there's still lights everywhere. There's boats going by. There's buildings. There's houses. But in the gaps where there's no people aren't putting lights out, it gets so dark. It's like way out west at night on an overcast sky. It's pitch fucking black as soon as you don't have any light sources. And it gets especially eerie when you're on the water in this deeper water, where even though you have a light, the light penetrates the water so far, and then it's just you can there's like this halo of green around your boat, and then blackness outside of that. And occasionally you'll see the ceiling, something jutting out as you pass by. With your goggles, Malthar, you can see much farther, and so you can see. You can like take them on and off, and sometimes you'll see the ceiling. You'll kind of see the black and white filling in of the ceiling that your glasses do, and then you take them off and it's black again. And that only gets more and more the case as you get farther from Favennozionir. And it opens up into this like kind of bay here, where on one side is Spillbend and on the other side is Wenlock. Wenlock is a big, very old city where the Lord of the River Cambrai lives, apparently. It doesn't have jurisdiction over Favennozionir in the river above, but and that city was here before Favennozionir was. It's big. It's not as populous as Favennozionir, but it takes up more space and it's older. Spillbend is very much like a port kind of trade city. People do live in Spillbend, but you can kind of see the glow of Wenlock over the water. It's blocked by pillars and stalagmites and stuff, but the glow kind of finds its way around. Approaching Spillbend, it's kind of hard to tell that it's a city because it's sectioned off, in a way that no surface city can be. It's sectioned off by solid stone, so there's passageways to different parts of the city. Some are entirely encased in stone. Some of them are like Favennozionir, built into the sides of walls and stalagmites and stalactites. But when you approach it, you just get to an area that's denser stalagmites and stuff, with more things built, more passages and things built into the sides, and your boat just pulls into a little dock surrounded by stone, and you can climb out, and you're in an interior space that is now a city. It's very different from arriving at a city out in the overworld. Wenlock Spillbend is definitely, at least as far as residents go, poorer than Favennozionir. Things are cheaper but harder to find. So if your stuff wasn't paid for already, some people like to do their shopping for adventures in Spillbend rather than Favennozionir. If they know where to go and where to get things. So in Spillbend, what would you like to do? Would you like to stay here, or would you like to just get a head start on the Silleries? I'm sorry. When you're getting out of your boat, one of the other people shrieks and falls out of the boat, and the gondolier helps him, and they get on board. And Roper, when you see what it is, it's a big like Galapagos turtle sized sea scorpion that is clung to the side of the boat. And you lock eyes with it, and there's an understanding that it remembers you, and you feel this sense of like lost purpose. Like I used to live free, and I don't really know how to anymore. And You can see like it has the scraps of battle that it got at the pump pit in Favennozionir, but more. It seems like it has continued fighting out in the wild and possibly killing indiscriminately. And you just get this sense of like this creature has so fully lost its sense of like what it means to just kind of live out in the wild, and it's looking at you like, help me, show me the way.
Okay, so I guess I lasso it.
Okay. It doesn't move. It's weird. It doesn't move much in general, actually. It's one of those animals that just kind of, it doesn't have like expressions and stuff. It just kind of sits when it's not doing anything. You know, that's not true actually, because it is kind of bug. It does like clean its lip. You just put a lasso on it.
Yeah, now I've got it. I've got it as a pet. I'm walking it.
That
Walking it
does
around town.
that does do a little bit to like calm people down about it, because it's the kind of animal that either would be killed if it was walking around in the city, or somebody would have to like shoo it back into the water with a broom.
Mm-hmm.
It's big enough.
How big is it? Like
It's like,
Dog?
imagine. It's
How
like
big is it?
it's like a Power Wheels kind of, you know, those like cars that kids ride around in, but just flatten it out and stretch it out a little bit. It's not like alligator sized, but it's pretty big.
Cayman
It's like
size.
maybe like this wide and like this long,
Yeah.
maybe.
yeah, okay. Yeah.
It's a big bug. It's like a big crustacean type thing. It doesn't really have big. It has very small claws. They look pretty nasty. They look jagged. But it's the real weapon is that tail in the back that is just a sword. It's like a swordfish nose, but on its tail. And it can kind of do this the way that a scorpion does, but it seems like what it really does is it just chops back and forth with it. The way that an alligator, if you like grab its tail, it'll whip around sideways really fast and try to bite you. It does that in reverse, where it's like has its little puny claws up, and you get too close, and it just flips around. So I'll reveal the Swordpian. You might want to name this one because Swordpian it doesn't roll off the tongue. The real animal it's based on is called a Slamonia, which also doesn't roll off the tongue. That's a problem with a lot of like prehistoric animals. They didn't exist when people existed, so nobody named them names that were easy to say. They've just got Latin names that don't sound like anything. So in a fantasy setting, it's like, well, people have to actually call them something. They're not going to call it Slamonia, because that sounds like an algae. That doesn't sound like a scorpion. All right.
I guess maybe I'll name it. I gotta think
You
about
think-
it though.
It doesn't care if you name it. And it'll eat like kind of just about anything as long as it's like protein rich. It seems like its natural feeding habits is it doesn't eat like, it's not a big predator. It eats like little things off the seafloor or off the riverbed. Just
When I open its thing, I don't see any like.
oh, I didn't here. I'll make it.
I just see the picture of it.
There we go. You see it now?
Let me see.
Under character sheet.
Yes, it works.
All right.
Yeah.
And you have access. I think you're a high enough level that you have access to all of that. And I did the math and stuff too.
Nice. Good job, dude.
Thanks.
How long did it take?
This one was a little easier than the others because I based it on the.
No, I mean just the math part.
Oh, the math is I can do D and D math instantly.
Oh yeah,
I'm really bad at math, but
two.
make it a D&D math.
Do 2d20s
Well,
times 5d8s.
2d20s times 5d. That's not D&D math. First of all, you want me to average the dice, or do you want me to give you? That doesn't make any sense.
So you don't even understand the question, it seems.
I think
And
you
you're
don't
saying you're good
understand
at this, and you're
I think
saying
you
you're
don't-
good at this,
I think
and
you
you're not
don't
even
understand the question.
I understand. I understand everything.
Why don't you do it then?
You're like, I know how to do it. I just want to make sure you know how to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you tell me, and then I'll tell you if you're right.
I'm really bad at math, but if it's D&D math, it's just that I remember the pathways. You know, this goes here and that does this. Averages. I think dice averages are D&D math that I'm not good at. So that's one aspect that I don't really do dice average. I know a couple of them. Like I know every side of a D20 is 5% chance, and a +1 is +5% on a D20. All that stuff, but that's it.
I usually think of it as the average of 2 die is 1 plus the maximum number. So the average of 2d20s is 7. So
Yeah. That's really good. That's really useful. I may or may not remember that.
the average of 2d6s. 2d6 would be 6 plus 1. So that's 7. Average of 2d8 is 9. The average of 2d10s is 11. So from there you can work out, 4d10 or 3d10.
I usually use any dice. I just search any dice, and then that's a really nice website that just averages dice rolls and stuff. What would you like to do? You arrive in Spillbend. Like if you're thinking in this was something you don't really have days, but traveling in D&D is so based on around like days. So I did kind of build this hex map. It's a hex map, so it kind of functions in days. So we can translate it into tides if you would like, or you could just say days. But I'll assume that it's like how far you can travel without being tired. Overland, if it's a sparse area that's not slowing you down, you can travel 2 hexes. If you are like close to a destination where you feel like you'll be safe resting, you can push it and go an extra hex, and then all that means is that everybody rolls Constitution saving throws versus exhaustion. And if you fail, you get a level of exhaustion. But then if you rest, you lose your level of exhaustion. So that can be worth it if the only risk there is if you have an encounter, then before you rest, then you have exhaustion. Looking at the map, if you don't push it at all, then it could be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 days of travel if it all goes according to plan and you don't travel any extra distance. If you don't gain or lose any time. You've essentially done half a day's travel already by taking the ferry. So it's up to you whether you want to rest in Spillbend or get a head start. That's up to you.
Is there an indication that, if we finish the job faster, there's like a better reward or something? Or Is
I
there-
totally forgot to. I wanted to give you guys because I think that your characters would know what the reward is, and the reward is pretty good. It's better than what you got for the sewer job. It does seem like, you know, if it was a richer town that was struggling, maybe you would have gotten paid more. But you're also getting a lot of like comps. You're getting a lot of like your equipment is covered and that kind of thing. So it's a good reward. I can't give you a number yet, unfortunately, but I think the characters would know, and then, so I'll just tell you it's pretty good. What was your question though?
Uh,
Sometimes you'll ask a question and
was
it'll
there-
remind me of
was-
something else I wanted to say, and then I'll.
was there an indication that this had to be solved quickly?
It did seem fairly urgent, but not in the sense that like you can't, you know, take a. It was just they wanted somebody. I mean, if it was like that urgent, they would have made it clearer. It was urgent enough that they've. The fact that they're hiring delvers both means that it's urgent and not urgent. Like, it's urgent enough that they're splurging on delvers, but it's not urgent enough that like they went all the way to Favennozionir to get somebody, you know. So you can basically, I'm saying you should probably get there quickly, but if you want to take a rest, that's fine. It's not going to be. There's no consequences from that. It's not going to affect your pay.
Why don't we try to push it for like the first 2 days, and then go at a normal pace like on the day that we would arrive? 2, 3, 1, 2.
That could bring it down to 2 days, even. Well, it depends because you'd have to push twice today to accomplish 3 days travel, but that's doable. That would mean that you would have a level of exhaustion carrying over to the next day. But you could rest in Spillbends today and then try to get the travel done in 3 days after that. Because again, you've done basically half a day's travel getting to Spillbend. So you could get an inn there. You could even try and argue that your sponsor, try to like get the sponsor to retroactively cover it, but that's down to your persuasion later.
I mean, I'm fine with whatever. I don't really.
All that you have to decide right now is: are you resting in Spillbend or are you carrying on?
What's the risk or what's the chance of being exhausted?
It would be Constitution saving throw for every like extra day that you travel, every extra hex that you travel.
Okay.
So you've basically done 1 hex worth of work today. I don't know. I guess kind of like fuck that because you you could have rested on the boat. If I'm being kind and trying to simplify things, you could just start today and call that the first day. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah.
Start
Yeah.
from Spillbend? All right. Yeah. So let's just do that. So we can go hex by hex if you like over land.
Sure.
Yeah, do we have access to a boat? Because that's faster, but
It is faster. You could you don't have a boat right now, but it wouldn't be that expensive to rent or buy one. You also have a lot of rations now. What do you guys think? Land or boat?
I like the boat. I liked being on a boat. I thought it was cool.
One for boat.
Yeah, I'm also vote.
I kind
Two
of was
for
the
both.
other way. I liked
You're kinda
the idea
leaning
of being on
Sillery's.
land. Yeah.
That's
You could always do 1 and 1.
Ooh.
Then what do we do with the boat when we're on
Split the
land?
party.
Split the party.
Yeah, I don't know if we should split up.
No, I'm fine with land. We
I
can
mean,
do that.
we could walk along the edge, and then those who want to be in the boat can just sit in the boat.
I'm fine with walking. It's fine. I'm not.
You can always walk there and take the boat back because there's boats in both places, and both places like having boats. So it's not necessarily a thing where like you might not get all of your money back, but you can pretty reliably sell a boat in both places. And it would basically be the same as renting a boat with a deposit. I wonder if it would be reasonable for there to be a business that like marks their boats so that you can return it at either place, like renting a car. So for the first leg, are we doing land or sea?
Land.
Land.
Let's go land.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that begins with the high wall beyond Spillbend. You can see that it's just water here, but I think I described before that the water hexes aren't always just water, and the land hexes aren't always just land. It's just a majority thing. So there is a path here. It's a lot of like bridges that have buildings on them, bridges over rock formations that poke out of the water, connected to ones in the ceiling, and it's a little hard to tell sometimes like what stone was already there and what was built and what it's built on. It's very disorienting for the people that haven't lived. Like being in the Underdark is consistently just as you're starting to get used to the geography of this. A lot of the time when you're getting used to something, like getting used to not having days in Favennozionir, something that makes that easier is you can relate things to your experience on the surface. You can relate the tides to the days and the seasons, and which makes it very easy to adapt, but it's kind of unstable because that kind of comfort can be easily disrupted when you get to a place that's slightly different. You're used to Favennozionir at this point. Spillbend is a lot like Lowtown Favennozionir down by the water, but it's just a little bit stranger. And up on this high like wall bridge area, there's a lot of the way people live here is also very different to what you guys are. You see a bit of this in Lowtown Favennozionir, but some people don't really have houses, but it's not a matter of like being unhoused. It's like living in a private interior space is a bit of a cultural thing that Favennozionir has that not everywhere in the Underdark does. Like a lot of people live and sleep and stuff out in the open because there's not a weather. And so that these ideas of privacy and having a private space is not, some people don't have it. So uneventful going along the high wall. You come to land at the beginning of the Silleries. The Silleries are a series of braided rivers that flow down from these slightly higher elevation caves. The Siluria region of Drippling Delve, which is very densely packed stalagmites, stalactites, columns. It's basically a forest of stone. And the water, like I said, it's a braided like river delta that flattens out into this long shore. Several days to walk the whole distance. And it comes down to this beach where it empties into the Cambry. The beach is a mixture of silt and sand, but not like there's not like white silica sand like you have on a surface beach. It's a mix of round little like marbles of limestone, lots of those of varying sizes. Kind of a gritty, silty soil, gritty gray, silty soil that's mixed in there, and then little flecks of crystal that kind of shimmer when you hold the light over them. So there's a very gentle sparkle to the shore, and it's like it's harder and softer in a way. Like walking on it with bare feet is in some ways nicer than sand because it has more of it shapes to your foot because it's big pebbles and stuff. It's a little grosser too because it's like it's riverbed. It's muckier. And not so much at high tide, but when you later in the year when the tides get lower, there's a lot of luminescent algae in the water whenever it's disturbed. More so in Drippling Delve than there was in the bodies of water out in the greater Mesogra. The algae gets very dense in the river. Sometimes it's a bit of a problem. The first village that you come to, that you can just pass through if you'd like, but is Aidsford. I'll show that. Aidsford. And there is an inn at Aidsford. It's a village that seems to deal mostly in fishing and trapping and a bit of agriculture. Up on the road where the village is, you can just barely see down to the river, where they have lots of like docks and things built out not for boats to park at, but for traps. And there's like a mussel farm, except not mussels, but like a barnacle kind of farm out there on the water. Are you staying in Aidsford or are you pushing for another hex?
I like the idea of pushing it.
Fine by me.
There's two roads. There's three roads that lead from Aidsford. One goes back where you came. One goes. Turn that down. Up in elevation towards Siluria, and towards a settlement called Ayote. It's spelled the same way as Aidsford. And then there's, of course, the road to the signs say Spillbend, Ayote, and Ludlock. And you know that the Ludlock Road is the one that goes to Gorston. The Ludlock Road, you're really getting into the distilleries now. There's a lot of fords rather than bridges. There's some bridges, but a lot of the time you're having to wade through the rivers. It's a bit slow going, and uh, this will be your first roll. So I want somebody, say who's doing it. I want somebody to roll a d6.
I can do it.
I'll roll.
Or yeah.
Four. Uneventful, although there are people traveling back and forth. Not a lot, but it's sort of the one road, so you get people going back and forth. I think I mentioned before, it used to be busier a long time ago, but the river has become more of the way of traveling and the way of moving things. But people still walk the sewers. Next, oh right. So that was you guys said that you were moving on, or did I just assume?
I said.
We
Yeah.
were.
Yeah.
Okay.
moving
So
on.
now you'll also need to roll Constitution saves, everybody.
I am not proficient in this.
Including the sword PM.
Yes.
We're rolling Constitution saving throws.
Yep.
Okay. That was for
420.
jab. Oh yeah, that was for jab. And for roper, I should say.
All right. It's just a DC 10, which means Malthar is the one kind of feeling fatigue. You haven't done much traveling in a while, and so pushing it on your first day, you're feeling sore. You're also kind of wet, and you're getting worried. Like, generally, when you're traveling like this, you don't want your shoes to be wet. That's something you take great care to keep your stuff dry, because you'll get infected. But that's really hard here. It also seems like people aren't that concerned about it, which is odd.
Hey man, though, the wetter the better. That's what I always say.
It seems that way. But yeah, you're a bit stressed about your shoes being wet. So you'd like to dry those out, but you're also tired. So your third hex of the day, what would you like to do?
Well, I think probably we should stop there if we're
Yeah.
gaining exhaustion.
If already somebody's feeling exhausted.
All right, you can find a nice place, a little off the path, more towards the shore. You can very clearly see how high the tide comes, and it's very reliable. You don't get flash floods in Drippling Delve. You get floods, but not flash floods. So you can find a nice dry-ish place to set up, where you can hear the river and the path. You're equidistant between them. One more d6 for the day, for the night, as you're resting.
Another 4.
We don't need to do perception checks or anything, but but I just want to know, what are you doing? Are you taking shifts? Are you making a fire? It's not that cold. You are used to making a fire, but it's not like you make a fire every time. You know what? If you were making a fire, I guess I would have to ask what it is you're burning, because it's not really firewood.
I make a fire, but immediately something drips on it and it goes out.
Yeah, I don't think we need fire. We should have watch, I guess.
Yes.
You can take your normal shifts, and nothing happens. You see lanterns crossing the path. You see boats out of the water. I'll send a couple pictures just while you're resting, because I can only do so many handouts in Roll20, but I can just send a couple pictures that I was looking at from my own, just thinking about the area.
For your own edification.
Yeah.
For your own twisted purposes.
Yeah. Well, that makes it sound like I was. That second one, it's clearly a very small cave, but if you just imagine it as bigger, as like a beach, I think it works pretty well.
That's cool.
I like that first one because you can imagine the water being very deep. This one, I think, gets the like darkness across.
Mm.
When you're all, when do you guys like wake up? Do you have a system for like knowing how long you've slept and keeping track of that? Roper doesn't need to, but for everyone else, Ulan, you talked about having you can tell what time it is during the day, so you might have a better grasp of like being able to tell time.
Well, and I mean, the tides are different here, I guess, but we still
The tides, yeah.
have that.
Yeah. You can like pop down to the water and check the tide. I think the tide goes down and back up. The moon tide goes down and back up every 6 hours. Just a 6 hour cycle, and so you can kind of count it that way. Next day. Give me a d6 for your next hex on the open silleries.
I'll roll this one.
Too slow.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Right. Malthar, you're hearing. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to ask this right at the beginning. I remembered it because when I asked about shifts, what's your marching order? I put you guys up here on the map so you can figure that out. From left to right.
Left to right, left is front.
Yeah. I mean, I was just thinking like how I write.
Oh, probably Malthai with his goggles are probably going to be in front if no one else wants it.
Does the Scorpion trail behind me, or is it up in front of me? Like how would it behave?
Entirely up to you.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay.
Well,
I just wasn't sure because you said it didn't move that much, so I wasn't sure if I had to drag it along or.
I just mean like when it's idle, the way that like an alligator doesn't like move much when it's not doing anything. But like a rat is just always kind of.
Right.
But no, it moves. I gave it a 30-foot movement speed because it's easier. Yeah, that's up to you. It's definitely like a tank. Maybe not as much as the mushroom, but in a different way. The mushroom just has infinite health. This thing has really good armor. So who's next? Malthar's in front. Who's in the back?
I would prefer to take up the rear, just because then I can keep an eye on everybody.
Or I'll
Be
be
like,
next. Elon will be next.
No one is lost as long as I'm here. Is the idea.
And I guess myself and the sword fiend will
All right.
be there. Be
Do you guys all have dark vision?
I think everybody but Ulan, yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, then that I feel like makes it even more important that I figured out how to echolocate.
Yeah. Well, it's if one of you can learn how to echolocate, the other one can have the eye drops.
Oh
I think,
yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about. That is something I want to talk about between sessions because that's something I'll have to like think about and get what you guys like are more interested in. But anyway, Malthar, you hear something from down by the water. You're pretty far from the water, so you can only just barely hear it, but it feels like there's a deep voice that's like shouting something. It doesn't sound especially desperate, but you could have sworn it was saying like, "Help me." Just echoing down by the water. What would you like to do?
Maltha will go and peek at the shoreline and see if he can see what said help.
It's currently like from the road. It's out of range of your enhanced dark vision, and it's dark. You can see where the shore
Maltha
is
will
because
kinda
of the lights.
Yeah. Maltha will kind of signal people to like pause for a moment, and Maltha will kind of sneak towards the shore and see if he can see the water and if anything's in.
Yeah. You hear it again. This kind of like, a deep voice that's almost more like it sounds like someone. It's definitely a voice yelling, but it's not like a scream of desperation. But it definitely is saying, "Help me." You see one of the Sillery river mouths along a rocky section of the shore. And as you draw closer, the ambient light of a few patches of mushrooms, you can see a lump on the shore with shapes moving around it. And the shapes are like kind of circling and backing up. And this deep part of your like lizard brain that can recognize hazardous shapes, you're like snake. You see the shape of something moving that you immediately are like snake. That's like a serpent form, and you see a couple of them, 3, moving around. Make a perception check. See if you get any more. 17. Yeah, definitely 3. They're not snakes. You see the glint of exoskeleton.
Mm.
And they're moving around a shape. One of them steps out of the way of a source of faint blue light, and you see the water around this shape is opaque with blood. And the shape kind of twitches, and all those shapes back up. And you hear a little bit louder, "Help me." And then one of the shapes moves in, and the shape in the middle kind of starts to flap wildly, seemingly in pain. It looks like they've been there for a while, and the serpent shapes are starting to get bolder. What would you like to do?
Maltha will will party that, hey, someone needs help, and will fire a crossbow bolt at one of the snakes.
All right. Yeah,
Oh.
stepping up to fully within your, what is it, 120 feet of dark vision?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't mind, I'll just put you on the map, even if it's a little bit closer. Just so that we're on the map. Does that seem good?
Yeah.
All right. Let me get everything ready. You guys all arrive at the shore as Malthar takes the first shot. Why don't you make your attack roll against one of these serpent shapes? And then I'll describe.
Uh, 21.
All right. "21 definitely hits.
Mm.
Put you behind the cover of some of these rocks, and then I'll put everybody else on the edge of the map.
Big question.
All right, here we are.
What the fuck is that?
You hit the enormous Silurian centipede, dealing how much damage?
7 damage.
All right. Considering that you yelled, I'm going to say no sneak attack. Unless you have something that negates that.
Yep, no stick attack.
And that was the one that was actually like digging in, and it immediately backs up and raises its head. And as it does and turns around and sees you guys, you can hear this enormous fish on the shore kind of flaps a bit and looks off in this direction, says, "Hello." Oh.
I don't like that.
Roll initiative. Oh.
Wait, is my thing on the board? Oh, there it is.
Do you remember how the initiative works with the companion? I don't.
I think I just have to click on it and then.
Well, but I mean, like, does it share your turn, or does it have its own?
Oh, I mean, I think we've been doing it that it has its own turn, but I don't know.
All right, we'll do that. Cambric Gator. Oh, all these things are still here. Okay. All right, good initiative. Very good. What's the sword's deck? Swordpian's dex?
The sword check is 16 plus 3.
Nice. Okay, so it goes before. It was a tie. It tied with the centipedes, but it goes before them. Oh, you know what? Since there's only 3, I'm gonna roll the centipedes initiative separately. And I'll color code them. Red, blue, green. All right. First up, Malthar, you can go again. This one turns around and it raises up its body up in the air with its feet and it's clearly like sensing with its antenna, kind of bobbing its head up and down, and then it starts to glide in your direction, still standing on its feet, just into the shallow water.
Are they 80 feet?
Are they within 80 feet? This one is the one that you shot.
Yes.
Or
Okay. Alrighty. Malthar will use steady aim, and will fire another crossbow bolt at that one that's advancing. Leave the weird fish creature alone.
Thank you. His voice is also slightly obscured by like bubbles, and its mouth is like half in the water. 21 for sure.
For 17.
17. What's your sneak attack coming from?
3d6.
But what's it coming from though? Where do you get sneak attack from? Oh, did you use steady aim?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
Yes.
that's what it is.
Do you want me to pin that?
17. Very nice. They're very heavily armored, but it made the mistake of raising its body up in the air, which isn't normally a problem. Most of the things it hunts don't have bows. So it slams back onto the ground and starts slithering towards you. This one gets the hint that other things are happening. And so wait, how fast can they move? It starts moving straight towards you. It's gonna dash. It's not smart enough to take cover. Oolon.
Yeah. Mm. Didn't know it was going to do that. Okay, I'm going to cast Spike Growth. 20-foot radius centered on a point. Okay, let me find the shape things here.
It'll be 4 squares by 4 squares, I think. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's a 20-foot radius. Yeah.
Here. Hold on. There. And then, whoops, that's wrong.
Cool.
Spike growth. There we go. So where do you want that? Centered on it or off center? Does it have to be centered on the target?
No, just centered on a point within range.
Okay, so where do you want it? Just indicate like up one.
Yeah, like
one.
I think there is good.
Okay. And does it have to do anything immediately or on its turn?
Becomes difficult terrain, and when it moves within the area, it takes damage.
Cool. All right, so that's set. I'll make it blue for you. That's your color in Roll20. Roper. Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
All right, Roper.
I'm gonna move here. Let me see real quick. How far can I? How big is it? It's how big is it? It's huge,
How big
right?
is it? It's technically a large creature, but it definitely, if you saw it in person, you'd describe it as huge. It's like the length of a sedan.
I have a net. Is my
Longer.
net big enough to throw over it or no? Probably not.
Potentially, it's got a lot of little legs that could get caught in a net. You're
Mhm.
unlikely to get the entire thing, but it could functionally like restrain it. So a net would work potentially.
Okay. And how close do I have to be to do that?
Uh, oh, it has a range of 5/15, so 5 feet or 15 feet if you were okay with disadvantage. So if you don't want disadvantage, you have to get right up in melee. Which you would also have to move into the spike growth to do that. But I'll also point out, I think the spike growth. Oh no, the spike growth doesn't restrain, so the net could be really good as a double.
So I'm gonna move right outside the spike growth,
Right.
and I'm going to try to restrain it with this net.
All right. So it's just a.
Disadvantage because I'm 15 feet away.
I'm trying to find out if it's actually a attack roll. It must be. Yeah. It must be an attack roll.
12.
12 does not hit. This thing has it's a fortress. The net lands on it, and you're trying to get those legs, but the net is just on top of it. And as it's slowly moving ahead, the net is starting to slide off the back. I gotta figure out for sure how nets work because you're gonna be using a lot of them. You should. I'll send you the net thing. But Night Daddy.
Yep.
Wait,
Yeah, anything else?
can these things hear?
What's that?
Can these things hear?
They've got antenna. That's a good question. Nature check.
I can assist and click my clickstones together.
17.
17. They can sense vibrations in the air and in the ground. Not as well in the air as in the ground, but they can hear. They don't have great hearing. They have really great vibration sense, like on the ground.
But you, so I'm wondering if it's worth using my Draconic Cry here.
Oh, it would work on them. They have a sense of hearing.
Okay. Then I'm going to, as a bonus action, use my Draconic Cry, which means advantage for everybody against this enemy
All right.
for the next round.
I'm gonna mark them with a screaming person. Where is it? There it is. This centipede is going to.
What if this fish is evil? What if we're fighting the good guys right now?
You genuinely don't know.
Can I go?
Yeah. I don't know why I kept moving initiative. Go.
That's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna step around. It was 35. 25, 30, 35. I'm gonna step up on these rocks, try to get an angle at this guy. And longbow him. Nice.
Hey,
Ooh. Nice.
9 piercing damage
Very nice.
against Mr. Green.
And you have 2 of those. And any more where that came from?
Do I? I've
Don't
got
you?
60
You have
arrows. But
You've got extra attack, though, is what I'm getting at, I think.
do I? I don't think
Yeah.
so.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You're a level 6 ranger.
Oh.
You have extra attack.
Oh, you're right. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Nice.
Another 7.
So that was 9, and I already did 9, so that's 7. This centipede, I think, just keeps. This centipede's actually taking the opportunity to sneak a bite. And ooh, yeah. So it starts. Its head like grabs on, and it's very dark over here. You can't really see, but its body keeps moving, but its head is locked in place, which tells you that it's biting. And the fish starts writhing, and says, "Oh, boo." Sword.
Scorpion is going to. Let's see here. The Scorpion is going to dash around the back to get into melee back here. And so if something moves into melee with me, it has an opportunity attack, but not if I move into melee with it, right? Or the Scorpion, I should say.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
correct.
So I don't think there's anything else the Scorpion can do.
Yeah, if you used your action to dash, that's your action.
Yeah.
It doesn't really have bonus actions. So.
Actually, well, you know what? Wait, sorry.
Okay.
Let me just see something real quick. I'm actually I'm going to change that. The Scorpion's just going to come to my side here, which it can do. But I guess it can't. What's the range? 5 feet. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So it's just gonna
kind
come
of
there.
nice attacks.
That's fine.
All right. It can hold an attack if you're not planning on using your action, or a dodge action. Those are two passive options.
I mean, I want it to use an action next turn, but
If you
yeah,
hold,
I'll hold an attack.
hold a signature attack. The fish tries to shove the centipede that's biting it. Add a 1 to this, and then for the centipede. Oh yeah, okay. It does sort of feebly slap the centipede with its tail, and the centipede does back off a little bit, but is clearly planning on going back in. Malthar.
Hmm. Hmm. Maltha is going to, I guess, steady aim again and fire a crossbow bolt at the red one, the big centipede. Steady aim, like crossbow. 19?
23, because you have advantage, right? From
Right,
from
23, yeah.
from
Steady aim.
Roper. Oh right, yeah. Ropert's cry applies. Does Roper cry apply just to the next attack, or to all attacks until your next turn?
All attacks until my next turn
Nice.
against
Really nice.
any creature that could hear me.
Yeah.
So could these ones over here hear me? Not that we're probably not going to attack them.
Everyone that can hear you is affected.
Any. Yeah.
Yeah, then they're affected.
We probably won't attack.
Are allies affected?
In the sense that they can
Here.
get advantage, but I don't think they're marked by it, right?
Yeah, no, they're not. I mean, nobody has advantage against us.
So 23 hits. Against which one are you?
Alright. I guess I'm gonna continue to go for the red one. I said red. For 22.
Wow.
That's it for Mel.
This centipede. It's going to rear up on its back legs, or its back, like 2/3 of its legs, and start gliding along the difficult terrain. How does that work? Every 5 feet it travels, it takes 2d4 piercing damage. Jeez. So that's 2 squares. So that's 4. Roll 4d4. 4d4 piercing.
Wow, that was not very good. Oh, that was the
Just
average,
for
I guess,
moving.
wasn't it?
Just for moving 10 feet. That's pretty good.
Wait, here's a question.
Hmm?
Since it takes up so many spaces, does it actually take more damage?
I believe it says for every 5 feet it travels.
Yeah, it does say that. You're right.
It's a good question. It could work that way. For now, I'm going to say no, but that's actually a good point. It does seem like something bigger
would step on more spikes. And
Yeah, but they're also bigger, so their feet is a smaller percentage of their body. It glides forward and then it like slams down, and it has enormous. Have you seen like a giant centipede in real life? Its pincers are like horn. They're like tusks.
Yeah.
And it's going right for Robert. It's 19.
A 19 does hit, yes.
And now it's in melee with both you and your companion, so it has disadvantage on attacks against anyone else.
Okay.
But not against you. So you need to make a Constitution saving throw. First of all, you take 11 damage right away, 11 piercing damage, as the independently movable mandibles. One of them gets you, and then the other one comes in, and there is an immediate searing pain. They feel like they're like white hot, and the pain is immediate, and it only grows in the
14
preceding seconds. 14. That's a failure. So the pain in your chest and shoulder just starts to balloon. It's already so intense, and then it just gets more and more intense. The venom that it has is clearly like purely designed to cause pain. And you take 11 piercing and 21 poison damage.
Holy fucking shit.
Whoa.
This thing would and could happily eat Robert. Ulan, what would you like to do?
excellent question. And I'm just gonna do a classic reduce flame attack. Which, I have advantage still. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, this is the last one before Roper's turn.
9 fire damage.
9 fire damage. Yeah. Is that it? Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Advantage 21, that is. Okay.
Yeah.
Roper. Does your cry end at the start of your turn or the end of your turn?
Let me see.
That determines whether you get to benefit from it or not. I guess if you use your...
Until the start of your next turn.
Okay. You could benefit from it if you did the cry at the start of your turn and then took your attacks. But that's just...
Yeah. First thing I'm going to do is climb on top of the sword peon.
Nice. Like a surfboard.
Yes.
You're small enough that it can carry you.
And then I'm going to hack at it with my scimitar.
Right.
$21.
Yep.
Two.
All right. 2 slashing. It's still reared up on its head, and it's like doing this thing, and you slap at one of its legs, and it does kind of like shrink back down to the ground. If that's it, Night Eye.
Yep. Take another longbow attack against the green one. For 11.
The fish click, like, you can kind of only just barely see its face, so you're catching glimpses of, like, wait, do you see, like, kind of a flat, odd human face? And it couldn't see you very well either, but the arrow landing over here, you can hear it say, "Very good." And you make a second attack.
Yes. Same guy.
"19 hits. 7.
And then I'm going to duck around behind a roper.
As it says, very good, it's interrupted by that blue centipede digging in again, and it shouts with slightly more urgency. It says, "Close help." Let me roll for that one. And it looks like, yeah, if this one keeps making attacks at it, it's not going to survive. Especially now that you know what its bites do. Saving throw. Oh, nice. All right. Sword.
The
And
oops. The scorpion. And how does it gain ferocity?
oh, right. So it ended its turn, or starts its turn, or whatever, within this enemy. So that's 1d4 plus 1 plus 1.
Okay, so that's so 4. It has 4 ferocity right now. So going to let's see.
Oh. Before you make a signature attack, I forgot that you have a feature that improves it. So let me just add. It does 2d6, not 1d6. So there we go. I'll change the other ones as well. There. Okay.
I'm gonna use distracting attack.
All right.
But I don't think that's gonna hit. $15 doesn't hit, I assume.
15 does not hit.
Okay, well,
Start of the Swordfiend's turn.
oh, wait a minute.
Hmm?
This thing moved into range with
It did. So you get a retroactive. Yeah, you get an opportunity attack. That's a feature of the scorpion, is that if something moves into its range, it gets an opportunity.
Wow.
8 does not hit.
Okay.
Oh, did it have the cry on it when it moved in? I think it did.
Still 15 doesn't hit.
15 still doesn't hit, yeah. And the green one is going to let me see. Move here, and then I'm gonna make an intelligence check.
It's a perception check for the spike growth.
Oh, wait, is there a thing in there about perception checks to spot it?
Yeah, you can't see it unless it makes a
Ooh,
perception
okay.
check against my
Well,
spell save
I'll do
DC.
that too. Which is
That's an excellent question.
natural. I rolled a natural 20.
Okay, never mind.
But on the intelligence check, it was a -1. So it will avoid the spikes, but that's not what the intelligence check was for. The intelligence check was to see if it dashed all the way over, or if it took its time and used like a dodge action or something. So with a -1 intelligence, it's just going to come right up on the closest group here, and it's going to grab the tastiest looking thing, which is the scorpion, but it's not its turn yet. So the fish, can't clearly see any of you. So it's just going to shout, "Help me, please! Help!" It's getting weaker. It does clearly need help. Mathar. It'll make one more. It'll make a slap.
Malthar, hearing the poor cries of the creature being attacked by the centipede here, is going to move down this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There. Which puts Malthar within 80. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang on, let me make that way. A little too close to the centipede, but Malthar will do it. That's 30 feet. Which is within 80 feet of this critter, which is the
Nice.
range of light crossbow. So Malthar's gonna do a light crossbow shot at blue centipede, and wording of sneak attack. A creature
wonder
just
if
has
this
to
would
be
come up.
next to an enemy of itself. I'm
I think this
assuming they're
counts.
fighting the fish.
I wasn't gonna let it count, but then I started having the fish attack the centipedes. Not very well, but enough that you get sneak attack.
Right, yeah. Crossbow attack. 18.
18 hits.
Alright.
Whoa!
4. Ooh! 24. And that's it for Malthar. Get off that fish, you creepy thing.
Very good. Alright. This
Never mind, the
centipede
fish is just creepy.
got a good bite of Rokert, and so it's gonna do the same thing again. If it worked the first time. That's a natural 1. Don't think it has anything to help with that. So that's that. Ulan.
It could miss and land on the spikes and hurt itself.
It
That's true.
It moved into melee with the sword being.
Oh, this one did. Oh my god! Of course it did. Okay, yeah. So go ahead and take that. Opportunity back.
Ah, natural 20.
Amazing.
N- 9 plus 4. So that's
13
13.
damage.
The unluckiest number of all.
Yeah. Yeah, as the centipede draws close, the very like instinctively, the swordpian just kind of like sweeps around. It's like the dinosaurs that have like a club tail back and forth.
Mhm.
It's a knife. Ulan.
God damn it.
Nope. Roper.
Going to once again try to throw the net over the
Yeah.
and reel back in the net, throw the net over the one that's in the spikes.
All right.
No.
No. It's tough to hit because it has very good armor.
Yeah.
Naidari.
Yep. One sec, I'm going to check one thing. Can I also climb up onto the sword peon's back? Is there enough room?
You're not sure it would A, let you, B, bear your weight. Because Rupert's a lot smaller than you, and he's already on top of it.
Okay, I got it. Okay, that's fine. Range of your weapon. Okay, I'm gonna step back just a touch, just to get some range. I am going to fire one arrow at this guy.
$15 misses,
Okay.
but you have 2.
Make a weapon attack. I would also like to. Does this count? Even if I miss? 'Cause-
Yes.
If possible, I can get 4 attacks total against these 2. Is that what
You
I'm
make
reading?
Another attack. I don't know that it's an attack action. I'm assuming it's an additional attack, so I think it would be 3. That's my. I'm guessing that the intention is that it's one.
Oh,
extra
once each turn.
attack,
Got it. Okay, that's fine.
rather than an extra attack action.
Nope, you got it. That's fine.
So you can have 3 bow attacks,
Yes.
but I think it absolutely applies.
Okay. Green guy gets this one.
25, yeah.
5 piercing. And then one more toward him again.
Do you think they can't shake that habit of like rearing up? Because it works so well in that it's like intimidating and they can bring their weight down.
Right.
But they're just not smart enough to figure out that it's a mistake against you guys.
Okay.
And is that against green as well?
That is also against green. Yes.
Oh god. Is that it?
Let me check. Yes, that's it.
The blue got hit by pretty hard by Malthar, so it is sufficiently distracted. It's gonna start moving this way. Let me give it an intelligence. All right, it is going to take the dodge action rather than dashing. I'm not 100% sure that's actually the smart decision, but smart decision would probably be to run. But oh, where did I put the turn order? Sword.
So how much ferocity does it gain?
Oh yeah, so the start of its is this its second turn in combat? With people around it?
Yeah.
1d4 plus 1 plus 2. One d4
Okay.
plus 3.
So 6.
6. So wait, does it have 10 ferocity now?
No, it's at 8.
8, okay.
Because it used 2 for the
Mhm.
distracting attack. It's going to use WAG.
All
And
right.
it's going to attack both of the things that are within melee of it with WAG.
Thankfully, this thing does not wag its tail when it's happy. It wags its tail when it's scared. And
22.
wow! All right,
Nice.
that's against
And
one
it
of them.
does 12 slashing.
Well, slashing.
And the other one. Well, now wait. So I do have to make 2 attacks with WAG?
Yes. I'm actually. Let me look. Is it?
It's just one thing because it just says it attacks
You just have to
a
click.
number of creatures within their prone.
Yeah.
Place prone.
PB
Okay.
is your proficiency bonus, which is 3.
Right.
So up to 3. So you can add yourself in there if you'd like, or you can just make 2 attacks.
Yeah. So, and then that sword pian, the sword pian is knocked prone, or the other thing is knocked prone.
Ooh, which one did you hit the first time?
I would say the one in the spikes.
All right, that one is prone, no saving throw. I usually mark that by turning the token upside.
Yeah, it's impossible to tell.
I'll just.
And I did not hit the other one.
No. And you got rid of all that ferocity. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Green centipede. Oh. I think green is. I have to roll. Yeah. Green is going to come down here and submerge itself in the water. And it's going to disengage and move here. The fish with a face is going to look at Malthar and say, "You're beautiful," and give you have a 1d12 inspiration.
Oh, cool.
And it's your turn.
Okay. Um. Uh, okay. Malphite is going to move a little bit. Um. Yeah, Malphite's going to move a bit up this way, to get back closer to the group. Um. And fire his light crossbow at the blue one that's dodging this turn, but
Mhm.
maybe distracted from going
Yeah.
after the fish.
I think
Um,
annoyingly, I think disadvantage takes away your sneak attack no matter what, even if you get.
Yes, it would. I'm just trying to make sure it doesn't go back to the fish.
Very good.
Light
Very
crossbow, 27.
27. Yeah.
With the radiance of the inspiration not being needed. Just that's it for now.
Nice. The red one, kind of no other options. It's gonna use, I think, all of its movement to stand up because its movement isn't most of its movement to stand up.
Ooh.
'Cause It's
But when the green one moved out of, doesn't it get opportunity? Don't we get opportunity?
disengaged.
It disengaged. Okay.
That's why I didn't move terribly far because it disengaged. I rolled an intelligence check for that. So yeah, without much options, it's gonna keep doing what it's been doing, and it's gonna try and take out Robert. Which is
Any,
Hmm?
because I'm standing on the sword pin, any attack made against me is made at disadvantage.
any attack or any opportunity attack.
Oh wait. Yes, you're right.
22.
Never mind.
Okay.
So that's 12 piercing and a Constitution saving throw.
No.
21 poison damage. 12
So that's
piercing,
sorry.
21 poison.
I'm at 0 hit points.
All right. You fall off of the scorpion. And when it bites Roper, it rears up again and bites him, and then there's like a ripple down its body as it like pushes Roper to the ground, and it just kind of does that and starts to curl around him and just hold on with its teeth. Ulan.
All right.
Ooh, against.
The one that is holding Roper.
All right. Definitely a hit.
That is 13 damage, and whoever attacks it next has advantage.
Nice.
I think that's right. It's just the next attack, not the next turn, right?
Yeah. Weirdly, I think you're not doing the most damage out of the group, but you're maybe the most intimidating. Your attacks are having the most like psychological effect because they're like bright lights that are lighting up the area for a moment. Rupert, death saving throw.
Yes. Okay. 17.
One success. Nidati.
Run within range. And two-handed spear attack down into the coil.
Like a statue, like standing on a dragon.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ooh, close. If it had any other option, it would run.
And again.
You go to the bathroom, but I can still hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going again. Do I have advantage? Probably doesn't matter.
No, I don't think you have advantage. Oh, yes, you do. Well,
From
no, I think
Ulan's
the guiding
thing.
bolt.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
the next attack. I'm
Okay,
not sure.
it doesn't matter.
It's always annoying when
It's-
it works out that way. The
I-
first one's good, and then
I
the
think
second one-
11 is still too low, though. So
Yeah.
11 definitely would still be too low. 18. I mean, at this point, it's armor class at 17.
right.
Blue centipede. We can make a wisdom this time. It's doing that thing too, where it's standing up and it's sensing, and it picks up some real bad pheromones in the room right now. So it's going to join this one in the water and take the dodge action. The scorpion, I'll roll for its ferocity. It gets the 4 plus 3, so it gets 6, or plus 2, so it gets 6. It has 6 ferocity, or it's 5 ferocity. And it could clamp down, which would grapple the centipede, which would probably be appropriate. Oh! Is that a Discord message from Manny? Maybe clamp down. All right. So it's going to. I don't think it has advantage, so that's a miss. The centipede down here is going to. Actually, I think they're going to move this. I moved them over there. I think they would move this way. They're not going to move to open water. They're going to try and crawl upriver and bury themselves in the sediment. So that one gets to here, and this one is going to climb over that one and dash just off map this way. Where's the turn order? I removed it again, didn't I? The fish is gonna give, I think, he'd like to give Roper an inspiration, but Roper can't hear him, so just to help him out. So he'll give Nidati, who's visible because he's been like framed by light from Ulan. He'll say to you, "My beloved," and you have a D12 inspiration.
Are you sure? I thought inspiration was only one person. Or am I?
I don't think so. I think you can have it on multiple people.
Okay.
At least bardic inspiration, which is what I'm basing it on.
Oh, I got it.
Malthar. You
All
still
right,
have yours.
Malthar will swing over this way and try to stab the centipede that is killing Rupert.
All right.
Yeah.
21 hits.
All right.
Oh yeah.
19.
Yeah. You peel it off of him, and it dead. Anything else?
Rupert, where are you? Are you alive?
Rolls out.
That's it for me.
Lip on the ground.
He's actually, it's kind of frightening because he's spasming from all the venom in his body. Ulan.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna drop concentration on the spike growth. And and one more reduce flame at 19. 4 fire damage. Is it underwater?
Oh, which one?
The blue one.
The blue one is underwater. Yes.
Okay, so that fire damage was useless, I think. My
Yeah,
bad.
two fire damage. But I would say it's less determined to leave than the green one was. So now that helps drive it like away.
Okay, good.
I imagine
That's
it's
what
not-
I was hoping for. I wanted to make sure that they were just going to run away.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cast Healing Word.
Nice. So Roper is conscious with 6 hit points. Immediately in searing pain, which will gradually go away over the next 30 minutes.
Ooh, ouch, ooh, ah, yikes. That's what he's saying.
That was actually too realistic. It kind of made me uncomfortable.
Ouchie, wawa.
Would you like to do anything or just say ouchie wawa? Actually, the main thing I was waiting for combat to end was for you to be conscious again. Are you guys doing anything else combat, like in initiative, or?
Are the centipedes definitely fleeing?
Yes.
Okay.
They disappear upriver, like sticking to the bottom of the water, and once they feel like they're out of sight, they're just gonna dig under the sand and wait there for a while until they need to breathe.
I mean, I guess we should figure out what the fuck this fish is.
All right.
Yeah.
Right?
In 10 minutes, because I'm gonna take a little break. Sorry,
Alright.
Benny, because you just.
Oh, that's okay.
10 or 20. I guess I usually like to do 20, but do you have to go, Alex?
Yeah, kind of soon.
All right, let's do 10.
I'm not. I think I will probably just leave at this break anyways, because I'm gonna
Okay.
have to go in like 20 or 30 minutes anyways.
All right, well, good.
So this will just.
Keep game.
Yeah.
See you next
Well, I mean, you
week.
guys can keep playing if you want. You can.
Yeah, we
keep
will.
Ulan
No,
or
no,
whatever,
we
but-
will.
Okay, yeah.
I just meant you.
Yeah.
Everybody else did terribly, but good game out. All right.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
Bye.
I'm gonna make sure that I correctly tracked what I did. That way, if you guys need to control Ulan,
Okay.
you can.
Nice.
See the rest of you in 10
Sure.
or 20 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
How's the stalactite organ for? I realized it might be best suited for like in between when we're not actually, because it doesn't. It's almost a little too classical
Mm-hmm.
for the ambient music. It sounds too maybe a little too much like somebody playing, you know. Where like the Elden Ring ambient stuff is so ethereal and um, I also have this just in case.
Yep. All right. Did free sound. It's a good one.
Yeah, turn order before I forget to. So yeah, in the lull after combat, um, uh, uh, you're catching your breath. The fish, you can hear it go, oh, please help. Please. Oh. Oh. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Robot. Ah!
I was gonna run over here.
Robot.
Robot. You're still robot. Refresh.
Here we go. Here's a new one, by the way.
Now?
That better.
No more robot. That's good. I like the hit sounds. I gotta remember to use those when you guys get a good hit in or something. I think it's better that we forget to use it than use it too much, but I do want to try it out a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do? The river is shallow.
Did I see something swimming around before?
Yes, there was and it's still lurking around over here. You are probably more scared of it than most people who run into them. It's a Cambury crawdad.
Okay.
Or not nearly as big as the one you found in the sewers.
Right.
And when you tell people that you fought a Cambury crawdad, they're usually like, okay, why? But they don't know. They didn't see old Pete.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think he named it Old Pete.
Yeah, that's it. Pete, that sounds right.
But this one was lurking around, drawn in by the scent of blood, but didn't want to mess with the 3 enormous centipedes. So it's still lurking around here, but it also doesn't seem to want to fight with you.
Okay. I will run over to the fish and cast Cure Wounds.
It has this, when you're close to it now, its scales are beautiful. It has like mother of pearl kind of sheen on its scales, white, like its whole body is white, kind of a slightly off-white, kind of pale beige color, but then with that pearlescent hue, pearlescent sheen. And its face is also very pale with a slight sheen to it. Kind of the shape of like a round, like sort of androgynous, but like kind of big nose, a little bit cartoonishly like an old man, but then very, very soft, smooth skin. Black eyes. And its
Based on
mouth barely moves when it talks.
okay.
There's a bit of like a fishy kind of, but when you touch it and heal it, it says, "Oh." It tries to flop around a little bit, but it can't move, and it says, "Please help me. I'm sorry." Seems to be stuck.
Ah.
It's big. It's like it's like the kind of carpet that a carpet big enough to hide. It's like a body wrapped up in a carpet, like a human body wrapped up in a carpet headed for the river. I'm sorry. That's the only thing I could think of for the size, but that's about the size of it. It's like a big commercial tuna, you know, like that size, which is enormous for this place where things tend to be smaller.
I'll do what I can. I'll push and shove, and I don't remember if I've got a stick that I can use to kind of pry it in, help it into the water.
Stick breaks. Hey,
I've got a crowbar.
Oh god.
Yeah, I have a crowbar too.
What would you like to do?
I'm just standing behind this thing and heaving at it. Just get in.
Make a strength check. Is anyone helping?
I think I would only hurt.
You're still like you're very much in pain still. Ulan will help because he's big. I'll give you the help action. 15. The fish will also help as much as it can. It'll slowly start moving into the water until finally it can. Just because of your cure wounds, it definitely would have bled out if you hadn't healed it. There's a big splash that splashes all of you behind it, and it starts to slide out here. This thing goes. I'm just going to delete it from the map because it's gone. And it gets out here into the water and turns around to here. and comes up to these rocks here. And you hear it over the rocks saying, "Oh," but you can't see it from over there.
Okay.
Come here.
Mr. Fishy.
Oh, I understood that. I'll walk to the edge here.
My beloved, what wouldst thou desire?
You're Roper. You're at a state now where you're like in control of yourself. It's still like full body ache, but you're able to. You're like conscious.
Mhm.
You're okay at this point.
Do you know anything about the slime at Ghostin? Ghostin?
Slime.
It kind of looks off. Hmm. I think it doesn't respond. After a while, it repeats.
What wouldst thou desire?
And now its body is under the water, but its face is poking out of the water like this, like looking upward.
I don't think I'm in any state to be engaging with this.
Many treasures in the deep, in the dark. Thou hast never seen the light.
No, I'm so tempted to say no gold, no treasure, just a single strand of hair to remember you by.
Oh, would be. I wonder if I like it more or less if it had hair. It would be kind of freaky.
Ew.
Flowing locks. Like it doesn't have hair.
Dost thou desire anything?
Could we have a scale from your side?
Very well.
It sinks under the water. Its face disappears. And it comes back up with a broad scale from near its head, about like this wide, like a big scale with a little bit of like an extra glint, more than the ones that are still on its body, and it holds his mouth up and drops the scale on the rock here. And it says,
Thank you, my beloved. You are beautiful.
and it sinks under the water. And there's like, you can see the water like disturbed again as its tail flaps and it disappears into the darkness. And so you have a scale that functions as a luck stone, or a stone of good luck, I think maybe is what it's called.
Awesome.
I always, whenever I
Hey,
look,
Daddy, would you like the scale?
Who?
Would you like the scale?
No. I mean, yeah, but I would let someone else have it before me.
who's the most unlucky? I mean, it's
mean-
Manny.
Yeah, Roper. We just about lost him again.
I mean,
Right, I
I'll
guess-
take it.
Yeah,
I was just talking
right,
Manny
that's
because he's
true.
lost two jebs, 3 jebs if you count the dog.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But I guess Rupert is pretty unlucky too. I'll make a handout for the scale. I didn't because I didn't know what you guys were gonna ask for, but that's really nice. Roper, why don't you make a history check?
Sorry, I'm away from my computer. Can you roll?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll roll it for you. What do I do? And did either of you guys miss with your? Do you remember missing with your arrows at all, with your bows at all? I know. Night Daddy did at least once.
Just once.
Once.
Thick mouth I hit, at least most
Oh.
of the time.
Okay. So why don't you take one arrow back, Daniel?
Okay.
I've been meaning after combat to have a little bit of like taking stock because I think it's appropriate. It's kind of nice, but also
Yeah.
because resources, I always forget at least.
Right. Right.
I mean, I forget to even take the arrows off when I'm firing them, but then let alone collecting them afterwards. Roper has 6 hit points, but in a little bit he'll be ready to walk. Let's move to the map. Was your first? That was after your first movement of the day, I think. Makes it sound like I'm talking about your bowels. So you still have 1. I don't think that was enough of a delay, unless it's a bit of a delay because Roper needs like 30 minutes to kind of recover. But part of that is just talking to the fish. So you could get back up on your feet if you want, or if you want to do more recovery. What is it you'd like to do?
This is our extra step of the day, or is it
This is
day
your
number
first.
2? Oh, this is day
You've
number 2.
taken one movement,
Okay.
one hex so far,
Yeah.
out of 2 or possibly 3 if you push.
Is Malthar still exhausted?
No, because you rested.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sorry. I hope you weren't. I guess you didn't make any ability checks in combat. So. Except for our perception, but we didn't do disadvantage on that. Ulan can heal also if you don't want to do a rest or anything.
Short rest would actually not hurt as far as Rupert goes.
It would probably have the chance to delay a little bit, but you can also push to overcome that. I think if you short rest, then it will constitute a delay. I think it'll be
Consequences of delaying.
I was trying to think of that. I think it doesn't seem like it should be a full hex, right? Because that's really intense. That's really heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we'll put the delay. You have a delay. That's like a mark, and if you get another delay, then that'll limit.
That's
that'll
reasonable.
Take off a hex from the day.
Sure.
So this is your first strike out of 2 if you take a short rest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it.
All right. So you can take a short rest. Would you like me to roll hit dice for you, Manny? I think you're the only one who took hits, right? What's that?
I can do it in a sec.
Okay. Did anybody else take damage?
No.
Yeah. Because it was just a fish and that one kept attacking the Rupert. I'm going to start rolling hit dice for you, if that's okay, just so we can get it started. Six. So now you have 12 health. Should I keep going?
Yes.
7. You have 19 health. I'll just keep going until you have half of your hit dice left, which is what you recover when you take a long rest.
That's fine.
5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. And then you can decide if you want to do more or not when you come back. After that, you still have 1 potential hex you can move today without pushing.
You know this thing about trans? Now, people always say we mustn't talk about that.
After a little ways of walking, you get back up on the road, and the Silleries are starting to thin out. It was for a while there, half of your time walking was in water, was like wading through river fords or over small bridges. A lot of the fords have like big stones that have been moved into the water that you can hop between. Excuse me. On the border between these 2 hexes, there's the main road, the Ludlock Road, and then you can see a smaller path coming off of the road heading up away from the water. I think all of you could make. I think Roper can make a history check to try and find out where this goes. I'm trying to think. Were either of you doing research about?
It's 7.
You guys didn't talk about doing research about the path ahead of time, so I think probably no. 7. Yeah, you have no idea what this is. There's no sign, but there's just the main road, and then there's an off path. Do you carry on towards Ludlock, or what would you like to do? I have to ask because that's how the game works. But
I want to take the path, but
the main path,
no,
the off path.
yeah, I like me some exploring.
I honestly would vote in the opposite direction. I don't mind exploring, but I am hurt. I mean, I'm not like now. I've recovered a lot of health, but
All right, Althar.
I won't be mad if the tie gets broken. Not there.
We can come back and explore the offshoot a little bit later.
Okay. All right.
Put a pin in it then. I have a hidden path that I drew, but I'll work on revealing it later. It's not in any condition to reveal. But I'll find some way of marking that there's a path going up. So you follow the Ludlock Road, and you've done 2 X's at this point. What would you like to do?
Let's keep pushing. We're almost to Gorstan, and we can rest after that and do 1 more day of travel to get to Gorstan.
Yeah.
All right. Constitution saving throws, and I think I have to give Rupert disadvantage on this one.
Do we still have the fish's inspiration?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, sure. Malthar and Nightbreaker. So you can use it's a DC 10. Uh-oh. Roper is exhausted.
12 for the inspiration?
1d12. All right, that's a success. So Roper, unsurprisingly, although you, if you take the luck stone, that actually adds a +1. So that's a 10. You're not exhausted.
Ooh, yay!
I think Stone of Good Luck is in the compendium if you want to drag that onto your sheet. It should automatically add a +1 to all your stuff.
Oh, cool.
Wait, so
That's
who's
so cool
carrying
that-
the Stone of Good Luck?
Hmm?
Who carries the Stone of Good Luck?
If you'll take it, it seemed like were we giving it to Roper?
Yes, we were.
Because I said who's the most unlucky, and it's you.
I just wanted to make sure. Did say I would take it, but sure, please.
But you make it to Ludlock, which is the darkest settlement you've gotten to in the Underdark. In Favennozionir, there's the shade, which is the darkest area, but there's still some ambient light. This is like it's like a campsite in the woods at night. There's areas that are lit up, and then other areas that are pitch black. It's on it's kind of on the beach, but like being in a cave, unlike the real beach, the bedrock is not very far beneath the sand. So there's areas where the rocks just rise above the sand, and that's where things are built on. In some ways, it's the strangest village you've been to so far because it's so dark, but it's also kind of the most the one that resembles Surface Village is the most because the buildings are built on the ground exclusively with like roofs. And it's all built close to the shore, which is why, you know, it's not built into the walls or anything because there are none. And you can see long docks, stone docks with some sections of reed that are stretching out from the village, and a couple barges that are parked there, empty. And you can see along the river further on. Oh, I haven't been revealing. I'm sorry. I haven't been revealing. Here.
Oh. You have been revealing these towns as we pass.
Yeah. Oh, I actually covered up Patesford. It's on the map later.
Ah.
There we go. There we go. And so okay, that's different. Token. There we go. And I think I'll reveal the water here because you came down to the water, and I'll reveal the water here because you're at a dock town. From this point in Ludlock, the river becomes a little bit slower to traverse. There's a lot more obstacles. You have to take kind of a windy path. Not just obstacles, but sections where like mapping this area, it's kind of like you have to map in the negative because it can be like, is this an obstacle in an open space, or is this an area where the open space stops? You know, because some of the obstacles are larger than the surrounding area, and so it becomes. Sometimes it feels like you're moving through an open space with obstacles. Sometimes it feels like you're moving through a tunnel, which you are, basically. In Ludlock, would you like, to stay at an inn? Because they do have inns.
Sure.
That will be. Your options here range from modest to squalid. So modest, poor, or squalid are your options. Before you just take the cheapest one, you know, keep in mind squalid is very unpleasant.
Maltha will pick modest, the highest.
Will it affect the quality of our rest?
It may or it may not. You don't know.
And what's the price difference?
1 gold or 2 silver or 1 silver.
How
Yeah, I couldn't hear that.
modest? I'll be modest.
All right, modest. It'll be 1 gold from everybody.
Okay.
1 gold per.
Yep.
And yeah, it's great accommodations. You have a meal. I mean, it's fairly warm. It doesn't take much to keep a room warm here because there's no like weather outside. You just gotta keep it slightly warmer than surrounding area. But it's most importantly it's dry, which is a miracle. Like for it's the difference is night and day sleeping out in on the Silleries versus here at an inn. So you have comparatively a wonderful night's sleep, fully refreshed. Yeah, you don't have to spend rations today. Oh yeah, have you guys been doing rations? I forgot.
No, we probably should.
Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, no. Wait. 1, 2, 1, 2. Wait, no. You only spent one night, so just one, right?
Yes.
You stayed in.
We
stayed in.
Didn't
No, you
stock
didn't
up
stay in
at
Spellbend.
we didn't stock up at Spellbend either.
Yeah. So it's just one night.
Okay.
Wow. Really good. You're making really good time.
So we're not exhausted anymore, correct?
No, not exhausted. You only need to spend one ration because you got a meal at Lovelock. Yeah, you're no longer exhausted, and you can take back half of your hit dice total.
Okay.
Fully heal your HP, all that.
And how many hit dice do I get? Sorry.
Half of your total.
Oh, half.
Yeah, so I think 3. Get 3 back. That's why I spent 3 without, mostly without. I spent 3 without asking you, and then I was like,
I used a 4. Yeah, but it's fine.
That's probably smart because if something had happened while you were walking.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
Yep.
All right. You're fully past the Silleries now, and the distance between the shore and the opposite wall of the cave is smaller. It's also steeper, and you can see that there's ledges and things up higher. You can kind of see, like, if there's a wall in the distance, sometimes you can see where it is because there's something growing on it. Some mushrooms, some lichen. When I say lichen, I mean things that look like lichen. In reality, lichen specifically needs sunlight, but this is just stuff that looks like lichen.
You're simply likening to.
Yes, I'll liken it to lichen.
Oh.
Very good. And as you get to the next hex, there's a path coming down from a higher elevation, heading back in this direction. It may or may not connect to the one that you saw over here.
Let's take it.
You could. It's headed back away from Gorston.
Malthus gonna take a rope and tie it around my daddy's waist and say, "No, this way."
Strength check. No.
And you don't have to push to make it to Gorston. The first Gowers that you see are coming down from one of the higher walls, are very old, clearly dead, like they're no longer growing, set of Gowers that are stagnant. Water is not trickling down them. And your first sign of slime, you're walking near by the shore, and there's a lump that the waves are kind of dragging up and down along the shore. And it's a Yeah, it looks like the kind of thing that you would see washing up on shore on a beach. But when you get close and you hold your light source over it, it is transparent.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like uh, it's kind of like a like oil spill, kind of like a shore after an oil spill, except that it's green. It's slightly
Hmm.
green and transparent, which is you don't see a lot of green down here. But in the distance, you can see the lights of Gorston, long fishing docks, a very impressive uh, uh, um, spread of some kind of clam or mussel farm spreading out into the river. Um, this village's entire economy is based on the weird shit they find in the river, this far downriver, and they export lots of things upriver. Uh, you can see people on the shore in the distance. You can see a group of teen goblins and kobolds from Favennozionir who were hoping to have who take trips down to Gorston for essentially spring break, but they did not know that there was slime on the beach, and so they looked really upset about all the slime. And I think that's it. Next session, you'll be welcomed by uh, a representative from the council in Gorston who will brief you on the situation, and you can get to work.
Cool. There's not like movie stars down here helping the poor trilobites covered in slime.
They put on
maybe.
a play where they all sing a song. They put on
Yeah.
a show. They'll sing and match it.
Maybe that's for you guys to do,
Oh boy.
to raise awareness.
Plus the rubber gloves
That
and the
might have already
toothbrushes.
happened. That might be how the situation got up to Favennozionir. Something like that. Yeah. Good game.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that you had a combat because it's been a while.
It's been a while since we played challenge.
Oh, and you hadn't had a fight really since you hit level 6, so that's why I was really like, wanted to make sure you got one. But it wasn't certain which one you would. There were a couple.
Glad Alex was here for that.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, yeah, because yeah. Have to let him know that you guys got a luck stone.
Does the slime have a smell?
It's a good question. I'll get back to you on that one. I prepped enough to get you to
We'll see a
Gorston.
lot of-
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll see a lot of the slime next time. So.
I might type up a detailed description of your first encounter with the slime, but you haven't done any like testing on it or something, so that'll have to happen next time. All right, good game. I'll see you
Yep,
maybe
GG.
next week. We'll see.
Cool.
You guys.
Bye.
Have a good one.